Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Students and physics enthusiasts, here's another enrichment lesson on the biological effects of radiation, focusing on the equivalent dose of the radiation from cesium-137 isotope. So join me till the end of this video. Watch and learn. This is the problem. In the 1986 disaster at the Chernobyl reactor in Eastern Europe, about one-eighth of the cesium-137 present in the reactor was released. The isotope cesium-137 has a half-life of 30.07 years for beta decay, with the emission of a total of 1.17 million electron volts of energy per decay. The overall nuclear reaction equation for the radioactive decay of cesium-137 emitting beta minus particles and gamma rays is given here. This radioactive decay occurs as a two-step sequence through an intermediate excited daughter barium-137 isotope and the emission of an electron or a beta minus, an anti-neutrino particle, and a gamma ray. So, of this 0.51 million electron volts of energy goes to the emitted electron. The remaining 0.66 million electron volts goes to a gamma ray. The radioactive 137 or cesium-137 is absorbed by plants, which are eaten by livestock and humans. How many cesium-137 atoms would need to be present in each kilogram of body tissue if an equivalent dose for 1 week is 3.5 sieverts? Assume that all of the energy from the decay is deposited in 1.0 kilogram of tissue and that the RBE of the electrons is 1.5. Our main target variable in this problem is the number of cesium-137 atoms. Okay, we denote that as capital N sub naught. So the number of cesium-137 atoms that have to be present in each kilogram of the body tissue if an equivalent dose for 1 week is given 3.5 sieverts. So we start our solution, okay, with the determination of what we call equivalent dose, or the complete term is biological equivalent dose, but we just shorten it as equivalent dose. Okay? And here we are talking about the equivalent dose per single decay of the isotope Session 137. The formula, okay, to calculate for this equivalent dose is given here. It is equal to the amount of the absorbed dose, okay, multiplied by what we call RBE, short for the relative biological effectiveness of the radiation that is used. Okay. Um, Absorbed dose, okay, refers to the amount of energy, okay, that is delivered to the tissue or body tissue per unit mass, right? So absorbed dose is a measure of energy per unit mass. And in the SI system, the unit is joules per kilogram. Okay, but that is equivalent to what we call the unit Gray, abbreviated as capital G Y. Okay, while course RBE stands for relative biological effectiveness of a particular type of radiation. So between equivalent dose and absorbed dose, equivalent dose is more specific, okay? Uh, because it considers the type of radiation uh, that the body tissue is exposed to, right? So for example, as given in this table, different radiation or different types of radiation have different values for RBE. Okay? So, for example, if the source of radiation is X ray or gamma rays, okay, its RBE is equal to unity or 1. The unit for RBE, of course, is the sievert per gray that's in the SI system, but that's also equivalent to an older unit called rem per rad. Actually, the term rem is an acronym for Roentgen equivalent man, right? Roentgen equivalent man, but now it is uh, replaced by sievert. Okay, both sievert and rem are units of equivalent dose, whereas gray and rod are units of what we call absorbed dose. So for electrons, the RBE value ranges from 1.0 to 1.5 sievert per gray or rem per rod. Okay, protons has RBE of 10 sievert per gray or rem per rod, and alpha particles as well as heavy ions have RBE values of 20 sieverts per gray or rem per rod. So computing the absorbed doses for electrons and gamma rays, mm, the beta decay emission by the isotope cesium 137 has an accompanying emission of a total of 1.17 1.17 million electron volts of energy per decay. So of this amount, 0.51 million electron volts goes to the emitted electrons, okay, and the remaining 0.66 million electron volts goes to a gamma ray, right? And so for beta minus or electrons, the energy release is when converted to joule, okay, is equal to 8.17 times 10 raised to the negative 14 joules. Okay, we use the conversion factor. Okay, that in 1 million electron volts there are 1.6 or there is 1.602 times 10 raised to the negative 13 joules. So that's how we got the energy, okay, associated to the beta minus or electron, 8.17 times 10 raised to the negative 14 joules. And for the gamma rays, okay, 0.66 million electron volts is also converted to joule. So we get 1.06 times 10 raised to the negative 13 joules, right? So as expected, the energy of the gamma rays, all right, is much greater compared to the energy of the electrons. So we can now compute the total equivalent dose. That is, uh, the total equivalent dose equals 8.17 times 10 to the negative 14 joules. Okay, this is the absorbed dose for electrons multiplied by 1.5 sieverts per gray, which is the RBE for electrons, plus 1.06 times 10 to the negative 13 joules, okay, the absorbed dose for the gamma ray multiplied by 1.0 sievert per gray, which is the RBE for gamma ray, then all over 1.0 kilogram. Okay, and this reduces or simplifies to 1.23 times 10 to the negative 13 sieverts plus 1.06 times 10 to the negative 13 sieverts. All right. We expect that the unit for the equivalent dose is the sievert. As shown, okay, we just canceled the unit joule uh, and the unit kilogram. So when we do our math, we finally obtained the value of the total equivalent dose, which is 2.29 times 10 raised to the negative 13 sieverts, right? This is per decay or per transmutation of the isotope cesium-137. How many decays are there in a week, right? We denote this uh, number of decays, which also refers to the number of uh, cesium-137 isotopes that undergo nuclear decay or transmutation. So we denote this as delta N. Okay? So to determine delta N, we simply divide the total equivalent dose that we just computed earlier, okay, uh, the total equivalent dose in a week, that is, and then divide it by the total equivalent dose per decade, right? Substituting delta N equals 3.5 sieverts, right? This is the total equivalent dose in a week, then divided by 2.29 times 10 to the negative 13 sieverts, okay, per decay. So the result gives us the number of uh, nuclear decays that the cesium-137 uh, will have, okay, in 1 week. Delta N equals 1.53 times 10 raised to the 13th nuclear decays, okay, or nuclear transformations. Since we already know the total number of nuclear transformations, okay, or nuclear decays that the isotope cesium-137 would undergo in the whole duration equal to 1 week. Okay? So the question now is, how do we determine the original number of atoms, okay, of cesium-137, okay, or the initial, right, number of uh, the isotope at the end of the 1 week uh, duration. Okay, remember that this isotope is transforming or is decaying into another type of uh, unstable uh, isotope, right? Earlier illustrated, such as uh, what? Barium. Okay. So, in order for us to be able to determine the original or initial number of cesium 137, we need to know, right, what we call the nuclear decay, right, or the decay constant for this particular isotope, okay, cesium 137. And since the half-life of this isotope is given, that's where we start from, right? 30.07 years is the half-life of the isotope cesium-137. So, first thing first, we have to convert it to the unit second, right? Using the standard equivalent that in 1 year, we have 3.16 times 10 to the 7th power seconds. So multiplying that by the given half-life in years, or 30.07 years, times 3.16 times 10 to the 7 seconds per year, we obtain the half-life of cesium-137 isotope in seconds, right? Equal to 9.50 times 10 to the 8th power seconds. So we then apply the formula that relates the decay constant lambda with this half-life. Okay, the decay constant lambda is just equal to the natural log of the number 2, and then divide it by the half-life. Okay, that is lambda equals 0.693, which is the natural log value of 2, and then divided by the computed half-life in seconds, 9.50 times 10 to the 8 power seconds, we get the decay constant lambda equal to 7.29 times 10 raised to the negative 10 per second. Okay? In the SI system, the unit for decay constant is the reciprocal of the unit of time, okay, per second, which is actually equivalent to becquerel. So lambda can also be described as 7.29 times 10 raised to the negative 10 becquerel, or per second. Finally, we can now estimate, okay, the number of cesium-137 atoms, okay, initially, all right, at the start of the time duration of 1 week. So it's just an approximate value for N naught. N naught is approximately equal to delta N divided by the product of lambda and the time t. Okay? Substituting, we have N naught approximately equal to 1.53 times 10 to the 13 power decays. Okay, this is delta capital N. Decays here also refer to the number of nuclides or atoms of cesium-137 that undergoes nuclear decay. And then divided by the product of the decay constant lambda, 7.29 times 10 to the negative 10 per second, which is multiplied by the time t, okay, converted already to seconds, 604,800 seconds. So when you do our math, okay, this simplifies to 1.53 times 10 to the 13th power decays divided by 4.41 times 10 to the 6th power, right? So the product of the decay constant lambda and the time t, okay, is a unitless quantity because the unit of time second cancels out. So dividing these two quantities now, we obtain the approximate number of the initial number of atoms of cesium-137. Okay, 3.47 times 10 to the 16th power atoms, which is our final answer to the question. So that concludes our discussion. Okay, for this particular topic. May I say mabuhay. Kita-kits in the next episode. MashaAllah. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alhamdulillah.